"Don't die," Franz Ferdinand pleaded, cradling Sophie in his arms. But she was already dead, and in a few more minutes, he would die too. Princip was captured.
In the center of it all was the triple alliance of Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. By a secret treaty in 1879, Austria and Germany had been allied against Russia. Impressed by Germany's growing strength and overcoming her distrust of Austria, Italy joined the compact in 1882. So the center of Europe, with two young nations and one ambitious old one, became a fortress, waiting for the day to make a sortie. The implications did not go unnoticed on either side of the fortress. The Russian Empire was more than a power. It was the focus of an idea. Slovaks and Slovenes under Austrian rule, Czechs and Serbs, all looked towards Russia as the protector of Slavs everywhere. And Russia, conscious of the menace of the Central Powers, had found an ally. In 1891, the apparently impossible happened. The Imperial Russian government, the very symbol of tyranny, signed an agreement with the Third Republic of France. So the Triple Alliance was now faced with a dual alliance, and the dual alliance was linked to the Balkans, an unsettled area which could at any moment burst into flame. None of these arrangements brought security. On the contrary, tension and anxiety grew. Both groups looked for new friends, the Central Powers towards Turkey and her empire stretching down to the Persian Gulf. France, building her own empire, looked uneasily across the Channel at the heart of an empire in being. Slowly and unwillingly, British policy bowed to the pressure of events. As the Imperial German Navy, based on its North Sea harbors, grew year by year, Britain's sense of safety diminished. Lord Haldane, an admirer of much in Germany, summed the feeling up.
We who live on islands and are dependent for our food and our raw materials on our being able to protect their transport could not permit that protection to be threatened by the creation of naval forces intended to make it precarious.
Colonial disputes with France became unimportant.
Who started the war? Austria. In 1914, after the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand, Austria sent Serbia the July Ultimatum, a list of 10 demands that Serbia could not possibly accept due to sovereignty. The demands mostly concerned the anti-Austrian terrorism and propaganda. Serbia agreed to all but one of the commands. The one they rejected will have granted Austria to send police into Serbia to investigate the assassination of Ferdinand. Austria felt that if they could investigate in Serbia, they would find other members of the Black Hand. The Black Hand was a military group wishing to unite territories that contain a high Serb population. The group deemed Ferdinand a threat to the unification and assassinated him. Austria officially declared war on Serbia on July 28, 1914. World War I had begun for all of the great powers of Europe except for Italy. Austria started war on the country for the acts of a single group. Who continued the war? Germany. What started off as a war between Austria and Serbia grew when Germany attacked both Belgium and France. On July 30th, 1914, Germany began to mobilize. France was resentful towards Germany over the struggle over Alsace-Lorraine during the Franco-Prussian War, so France declared war. Germany then declared war on Russia. Germany failed to hold up the deal that Belgium would remain neutral, so Britain declared war on Germany. Austria enlisted the help of Germany in the war on Russia, but due to miscommunication, Germany attacked France. If Germany did not use the war between Austria and Serbia to mobilize their forces and gain power and territory, the war would not have dragged out for as long as it did. Germany's response to Austria declaring war. What was Germany to do? To allow a country to mobilize against you without response, said the Germans, was like allowing someone to hold a loaded gun to your head without doing anything. Of course, the Germans knew what they were going to do. They had a plan, called the Schlieffen Plan, after the German Chief of Staff Alfred von Schlieffen. The Schlieffen Plan was Germany's plan for mobilization. It was based on 3 ideas. If there was a war, Germany would have to fight France and Russia. France was weak. Germany had defeated France in 10 weeks in 1870. Russia was strong but slow. Schlieffen estimated that it would take Russia 6 weeks to mobilize her army. The Schlieffen Plan, therefore, was developed as a huge hammer blow at Paris, using 90% of the German army, which would take France out of the war quickly, allowing Germany to transport its army back across Germany to fight Russia. It is important to realize that the Schlieffen Plan for mobilization was a plan of attack, so Germany mobilizing and Germany going to war were one and the same thing. And the Schlieffen Plan did not allow for a situation like that in 1914. Things were going wrong for Germany. Russia was mobilizing, but France showed no sign of going to war to help the Russians. Now Russia was mobilizing and was going to be ready too soon. Every day that passed gave the Russian army one more day to get ready. When the German Chancellor, Bethmann Hollweg, asked General Moltke, "Is the fatherland in danger?" the reply was yes.